The first Ontario Performing Arts Centre's Robertson Hall will be transformed into an East Coast kitchen on October 14th. CEO Colleen Smith is here to tell us more. The headliner for the East Coast Kitchen Party. It's a pretty big name, Colleen.
It is. So this year, it's our second year of our commitment for the East Coast Kitchen Party, and this year we are featuring the one, the only Ashley McIsaac.
He's a pretty colorful personality.
Ashley is all the things, you know. From Cape Breton, he's from musical royalty in Nova Scotia. He has been a thing since 1995, and when Hi, How Are You Today was released. Sleepy Maggie is one of those songs that will last forever, and Ashley just keeps going strong. He's been up, he's been down, and he's back again, and we are thrilled to have him as our Nova Scotia representative for this Nova Scotian themed East Coast Kitchen Party.
Now, I mentioned Robertson Hall, but I mean the performance is going to take place also in Partridge Hall, am I right?
Well, we're going to be using Partridge Hall, definitely, yes. We're using it for a really beautiful, intimate dinner for 40 people.
Okay.
So our event has two parts. We have a VIP portion, and then we have the big party, as we call it, the big kitchen, in Robertson. So for 40 people, they're going to be on stage, on Partridge Hall stage, and Ashley's going to do a few little intimate serenades. And then the big party, of course, Ashley and his band are going to play all night long. And they're going to play trad tunes. So all the traditional tunes that you think of around Nova Scotia and Cape Breton,
right.
That's what he's committed to playing that evening for all 250 people in Robertson.
Authentic music, but also authentic food, authentic atmosphere in Robertson.
You got it. So I'm from the East Coast, as you know. I grew up in PEI and went to school in New Brunswick. I taught high school in Nova Scotia, and recently I lived in Newfoundland. So for me, doing the kitchen party is all about authenticity. So if you come to our kitchen party, you're going to get two things that are legit. Okay, the first one is the music. So as we rotate around all 4 Atlantic provinces, there will always be a musician from that province playing. And the other thing is the food. And so we have Tide and Vine, who are our East Coast representatives here in the Niagara region, and they're going to be the caterer. So you will always get East Coast food and East Coast music, guaranteed.
And part of a kitchen party, an East Coast kitchen party, is everybody is really involved.
Everybody's involved. So you have your own tables, but you get up, you move around, you visit. You know, that's what we do in the East Coast. You show up, you visit, and you don't, send a text, you don't call, you just show up at someone's door. And so that kind of vibe is replicated inside Robertson. You just move over from table to table. You might have a table, you might move from one to another, you might get up and dance, you might go get a drink or two, and you might bid on some silent auction items. It's meant to be a fairly lively evening.
Colleen, this is a fundraiser. Tell me what the funds raised will be used for.
Yeah, so all of the funds from the kitchen party go towards our community programs. And our community programs are everything from our Fresh Air Flicks that we have for free on Fridays all summer long.
Going on right now.
Going on right now. Our Impact Education program that allows kids from all over Niagara to see world-class entertainment in Partridge Hall for $10 or less a ticket.
And in some cases meet some of those performers beforehand.
And have workshops and go behind the scenes. We're also starting a youth film club this year as well, where young people from high schools in the region will come to the PAC and curate films based on the themes and issues that matter to them. And then we have, seniors movement classes that are always available for free or at a discount. And we have other programs too that make sure that no one is left behind, that we are a barrier-free organization, and that you can attend and experience the arts in Niagara. So that's what the kitchen party does. It helps us to make sure that we reach as many people in this region as possible with world-class entertainment.
Does it also fund Celebration of Nations?
Oh yes, absolutely. So Celebration of Nations, or C of N as we call it in-house, C of N is this beautiful gathering of our Indigenous peoples and non-Indigenous peoples that celebrate Indigenous culture and music and storytelling and language. It happens the second week of September every year. And again, that particular gathering, it's really important that it is as accessible as possible. So funds from the kitchen party also go to support that as well.
All of these things that you mentioned, it really brings to mind, that the Performing Arts Centre is more than a performing arts centre. It's a gathering place for the entire community. of all ages and of all interests.
I know, and you know, COVID was so awful for so many of us, and what we see coming back is the joy on people's faces where they're in a room. Maybe it's with strangers, maybe it's with their friends or family, and then there's an artist on stage. And honestly, there is a magic that happens when all of those parts come together. So we are more than just an entertainment venue. We are a community gathering place where joy is encouraged, where joy is allowed to happen, where we provide inspiration for young and old and the middle people alike.
Last year's East Coast Kitchen Party was sort of broadly themed, the entire East Coast. This year, we're looking at Nova Scotia. What's next year?
Well, I'm kind of debating next year if we're going to go to PEI or Newfoundland. So being an islander first and foremost, I'm a little more inclined to go to PEI.
Maybe you save the best for last, though.
I was thinking that too. I'm just not quite sure. We should do a poll. Where do you want to go next? New Brunswick, PEI, or Newfoundland?
How can people get tickets? How much are they?
FirstOntarioPAC.ca. It is a fundraiser. Tickets are $199 a person, but here's the thing. You walk in and everything is taken care of for you. You don't have to buy any drinks. You don't have to buy the food. You don't have to buy tickets to the entertainment. It's all said and done. We will have a silent auction there, so you can bid on some fabulous items. We may have a live auction too, but it's $199 a ticket, and we would really love the support of the people of Niagara to make sure that the PAC reaches as many people as possible.
October 14th is the date. Colleen, thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome.